Hi members, welcome to this video lesson featuring or focusing on appearance and reality in Macbeth, one of the key themes in the entire play, appearance and reality. What is appearance and reality? Well, it's the attempt to distinguish between what appears to be and what actually is. Relevance to the play? Well, the entire play is centred on the inability to discern the truth, to be able to tell the truth. From the original Thane of Cawdor's betrayal to the witch's prophecy that none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. I mean, what does that even mean? None of woman born shall harm Macbeth. How is that even possible? But that's deliberately ambiguous or confusing, and Macbeth decides to interpret it in a way that he sees suits his position best. Lady Macbeth instructs Macbeth to hide his true feelings, while she convinces Duncan that she is his honoured hostess, all the time plotting his murder. The witches set this tone in the opening scene when they proclaim that fair is foul and foul is fair, hover through the fog and filthy air. What can you not do in fog? See clearly. Okay, so that ambiguity, that confusion, that things are not necessarily as they appear. Okay, so areas to look at when considering the theme of appearance and reality. Well, obviously the characters. Lady Macbeth and the three witches primarily. We'll have a look at a load of quotations, so, do be pressing pause, jotting down some notes. Deception, by whom and for what purpose? And the consequences. What's Shakespeare's message? Does it pay to be deceitful? So looking at Lady Macbeth first. Now, it's important to inject a little bit of contextual data here. The play was set in the 11th century. It was performed at the early part of the 1600s. Women were very domesticated. They were very subservient to men. But in this relationship between Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, certainly at the outset, despite Macbeth's brave, fierce prowess on the battlefield, he's very much dominated by Lady Macbeth within their relationship. That's what we'd call like a gender role reversal. So she's got the control and the power within their relationship. So as a consequence of this, she's the mastermind behind the plot to kill Duncan. Remember, she acknowledges that Macbeth has ambition, but she's worried that he's too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. To catch the nearest way means to kill Duncan to become king, rather than wait for it perhaps maybe to happen at some point in the future. She uses her charm and powers of manipulation to persuade Macbeth to murder Duncan, whilst appearing all ladylike and innocent on the surface. This continues as she acts utterly devastated when the news of Duncan's murder breaks, even fainting at one point to distract attention away from her husband, whom she's worried is going to give the game away. One of the most famous lines in the play that she speaks, she instructs Macbeth to look like the innocent flower but be the serpent under it. So don't reveal your true feelings. Keep them hidden behind a happy facade. Is this all a facade though? Is she really as evil and powerful as she portrays? Well, she admits she couldn't kill him herself, as he'd resembled her own father as he lay sleeping. That suggests a bit of a softer side, perhaps, one that she's keen to keep hidden. Remember, she's described later as Macbeth's fiend-like queen. The very fact that she has to call on evil spirits implies that she knows that she's not strong enough or evil enough as it is, or powerful enough as it is. She wants to remove the spirits, to remove any femininity she has, because that was considered a weakness in terms of murder. Okay, so appearance and reality. Macbeth. Macbeth is presented first as a fiercely loyal and brave soldier, prepared to risk his life for his king. He's a hero at the start. Remember, this is a tragedy, and Macbeth is a tragic hero. In order for him to be a tragic hero, he has to first, at some point, been a hero, somebody the audience would have identified with and been rooting for. But the reality, as we soon discover, is very different. On the one hand, he's preparing his home for his guests to be a place of joy and celebration, whilst in reality he's plotting to murder the king. Regicide, the worst of crimes. When news of the murder breaks, Macbeth, in an apparent fit of rage at the horror of the news, kills the 2 guards who were initially suspected of the crime. In reality, he's covering his tracks, as he doesn't want the guards speaking and insisting they'd done nothing, that had nothing to do with it. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them. In Act 1, Scene 5, Macbeth states that justice is fair and even-handed, and crimes will come back to plague the inventor. Yet once he commits the worst of all crimes, regicide, murdering the king, he does everything in his powers to avoid justice prevailing. Fully aware that his intention is to kill Duncan and the act itself is wrong, he sets about ensuring that nobody will suspect him of a thing. False face must hide what the false heart doth know. Another great quote to link directly with this theme, appearance and reality. The 3 witches. Well, they open the play and thus set the tone. They are evil. We know this because the setting, the stage direction at the start says thunder. And thunder at the time, in Jacobean era, they had no idea, they couldn't scientifically explain what thunder was. They believed that thunder was kind of representative of evil forces. They speak in riddles, are difficult to understand and prove problematic to describe even. Banquo states that they look not like the inhabitants of Earth, yet are on it. Setting the tone, if you look at different adaptations of Macbeth performances, the witches take on many different guises, from nuns to nurses, to strange creatures that are indescribable in terms of human qualities. Setting the tone, they incant fair as foul and foul as fair, hover through the fog and filthy air. Introducing the idea that all is not as it seems, that it is going to be difficult for the audience to see things as they really are at the outset. Do you remember what Macbeth's first line in the play is? There's a test for you. What's Macbeth's first line in the play? Okay, I'll tell you. So fair and foul a day I have not seen. It's his opening line in the play. Look at the language of that to compare it to the witches. Fair is foul and foul is fair. So fair and foul a day I have not seen. He's linked to the witches and that good is evil, evil is good, ambiguity, confusion. None of woman born shall harm Macbeth. Surely this means Macbeth is safe and need not fear anyone. No woman, because we've all, born from our mothers, surely. But they deliberately play with Macbeth. So things that isn't as straightforward as it seems, as we find out that Macduff was born unnaturally by caesarean section. And finally, exam relevance. The theme of appearance and reality could be incorporated into any question on the characters of Lady Macbeth and the witches that we looked at. Context, Jacobean attitudes towards the supernatural. They believed the supernatural was real, the spirits were real. The creation of tension, adding to the sense of tragedy. Shakespeare's intentions to explore the role deception plays in our lives. Okay, so that's plenty there for appearance and reality. If you're doing an extracts analysis, you can tie it into any extracts analysis involving those 3 characters and so on. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.